The Arizona Cardinals are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals week 5. They are banged up and bedraggled. I think the Cardinals have a chance to win this week. Let's find out what my guest, beat reporter Donnie Druin, thinks. Stay tuned.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh.
Murray heaves it downfield. It's caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome back to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. I'm Kelly Singh, and I've got my bestie back, Donnie Druin. Donnie, what's new? We've been apart for a week now, 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it feels like everything's new. Honestly, it's the same stuff, different day. It's just as you get closer to game day, I feel like roster moves start to kind of accumulate a little bit, and more information starts to come out about the game week, whether it be injury news and the updates on that front, maybe certain things the teams might want to try. So all of that on top of like the Phoenix Suns starting their preseason this week, it's been very, very busy for me. So my apologies on the absence. Also, I'm not in my usual get up. Yeah, I'm dog sitting for a good friend of mine. So yeah, it's just a very different Friday for sure.
Well, and we have the Diamondbacks. I mean, it's a very busy Phoenix sportsy month happening right now. So I can only imagine.
Do you know when the last time the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, and the Suns all played on like the same weekend? Because I can't remember.
It's crazy. It's going to be wild. Thank goodness, at least the football game is removed. So it's removed from downtown, but that's not going to stop the traffic.
Nope, not at all. And traffic is going to be awful on Wednesday whenever the Diamondbacks are here.
Oh, well, but it's fun. And that's what we
It is.
live for. So I have family. All of my very close family actually lives in the Cincinnati area, and they have actually taken on the nickname themselves of Cincinnati.
Their record certainly is, yeah.
And they're all very upset. And I don't blame them. They just paid a pretty penny for a quarterback who's apparently still has a bum calf. If that's still the deal. And here they are now going into Arizona. And I believe we have the same record, if I'm not mistaken. So first things first, I think the Cardinals can beat the Bengals for a plethora of reasons, mainly because we look better than they do.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is terrible. He's the worst in the league right now in completions. He's averaging like 4 or 5 yards per pass. It's like awful.
Dreadful. Yeah.
So dreadful. I can't even begin to even think how he must feel too. If this injury is truly holding him back from being the Joe Burrow that we know, my heart does go out to him, but I see this as an opportunity for the Cardinals. What is your take?
Yeah, before the season, I think if you told anybody what would have transpired, that both teams would be 1-3 heading into the season, and if you told me the Cardinals did legitimately have a shot, which they do, to beat the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday, I probably would have laughed at you. And it's not like injuries have really battled against them too. They've had a pretty good, like, clean bill of health. Top premier weapons wise. I mean, Joe Burrow's played in every game. Jamar Chase has played in every game. T. Higgins is questionable, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But for whatever reason, it's not clicking over there for Cincinnati. And I like how you brought up Joe Burrow's calf, because that was a problem in training camp, right? I mean, that happened in the first couple of days of camp.
Right.
That lingered into the regular season. They were talking about him potentially hitting on the pup list before week 1. The Bengals decided to play him through it, and I think we're seeing probably a little bit of that injury still lingering But I mean, man, do the Cincinnati Bengals not look like themselves for whatever reason? So,
Um,
so I do think this is the prime opportunity for the Cardinals playing at home. And it's not like you're playing a massive fan base like Dallas or like San
right.
Francisco to where those guys are going to come to State Farm Stadium. I'm sure there's going to be Bengals fans there because they only come out here once every 8 years. But like, what an opportunity for the Cardinals, who have been in every single game that they've played against the very, very good football teams, to pull off another upset. And I mean, even Vegas sports books, I mean, the Bengals are only 2.5 point favorites, right? Like, it's
Right.
not the 14 point spread we saw against the 49ers last week. It's not the 11.5 spread against the Cowboys we saw the week prior. So it could happen. And the Cardinals are playing very good football right now. Josh Dobbs has not turned the ball over since week one. He's one of two quarterbacks to have over a 70% completion percentage and at least 4 touchdowns with no interceptions. He's playing very well. James Conner is one of the NFL's leading rushers. I mean, we're seeing Michael Wilson evolve in front of our own very eyes, which has been
Yeah.
great to see. I think if you had any kind of shot in the dark to pull off an upset, it would be this week.
I couldn't have said it better. And the whole Michael Wilson discussion makes me so happy because I drafted him in
Same.
quite a few leagues. And then, it was very late round, if not your very last pick. And it just week over week getting better and better. And I pulled the trigger on it last week and played him,
Nice.
and it paid off. So, I mean, there are people who are playing Josh Dobbs this week over a lot of other quarterbacks. Trevor
Which is
Lawrence was one I heard the other
crazy.
night. They're like, I actually benched Trevor Lawrence and I'm playing Josh Dobbs. I feel dirty.
I mean, the Bengals defensively have not been great. The Cardinals defensively on paper haven't been superb either, but I mean, this does not look like a Bengals team that's been to two AFC Championship games and a Super Bowl appearance too. Like it just does not look like them. But I will say, if I'm the Bengals and I'm looking at this matchup, I mean, Joe Burrow has already deemed it a must win whenever he spoke to
Yeah,
Bengals reporters. If there's any game that they would like get them right, and how Arizona Cardinals of a thing would it be for them to get a really struggling down bad Bengals team and for them to walk in and all of a sudden find their mojo at State Farm Stadium? But I mean, to be fair, I mean this is a brand new regime, a brand new culture here in Arizona. So maybe that's not the Cardinals of the past. It's not your grandfather's Cardinals, right?
right.
But like, what a almost borderline laughable thing that would be if like Burrow and Jamar Chase hopefully clicked, right?
Yeah, it would be very Cardinals of us. And I feel like should the Bengals lose, all the Bengals fans will be, that was very Bengals of us.
Yep. Yeah. The Bengals are either going to Bengal or the Cardinals are going to Cardinal. Like one thing is going to have to give, right?
So true. Let's talk about this injury report for a second, because when you take a first glance, if anybody ever is a weirdo like me and goes to azcardinals.com and checks the injury report every week, it looks kind of long, but
Mhm.
at the same time, it's two people out. Jonathan Ledbetter still out, and now Garrett Williams appears to be out with a knee
Mhm.
injury. Why don't you tell us, what is this plethora of names happening and why is it not that big of a deal for us?
I think it's not that big of a deal because those guys have mostly practiced throughout the week, and it's kind of just like, hey, like you were limited, so we do have to put you on the injury report, but like they'll probably play. I
Mhm.
don't think it's like gamesmanship or anything like that. The Garrett Williams thing, I fully understand because they just activated him off of PUP, so they have a 21-day window for him to practice before he has to be actually on the active roster. So not a surprise that you definitely don't want to rush a guy like
Yeah.
that, a rookie coming off an ACL tear in college his last season. Definitely don't want to push that. I get it. The Jonathan Ledbetter absence, I mean, they rotate so many people along the
Mhm.
defensive line, and like he's a good player, but he's not like a drastically change your game plan around kind of guy. Like they have more than capable bodies down there. I saw Yaldi Froholt, the
Yeah.
starting center, was removed off the injury report. That's a very good sign for them. Chris Barnes, I believe, was moved off of the report.
It looks like he had a full practice today, but they listed it as unspecified for game status. It's not
Interesting.
questionable and it's not out. It just says unspecified.
Maybe I would assume he's probably going to play if that's the point.
After having a
But
full
like,
practice, you might assume, right?
right, but obviously, what happens when you assume. But I mean,
True.
the like teams are definitely banged up at like this point in the season. Like you're starting to really see the injuries kind of pop up and occur. If I'm the Cardinals, I'm looking at the Bengals side of
Yeah.
the injury report. I'm looking at T. Higgins being questionable, and if T. Higgins is questionable, then you really kind of start to get into the nitty gritty of okay, if T. Higgins is out, Tyler Boyd is nothing to shake a stick at. But I mean, if you can really kind of focus a little bit more on Jamar Chase, the more the better, right?
Yep. Less to cover. Also, they are having a starting cornerback issue. I'm really going to slaughter his name, but I'm going to say Awuzie.
Awuzie.
Awuzie. I was
Close.
so
Chidobe
close.
Awuzie.
Nothing Wednesday, limited Thursday, nothing today. And it says questionable. And a Cincinnati article I read said he's going to be out, and T. Higgins it said likely questionable. Did not feel like they were solid on that T. Higgins deal by any means. So that's rough for an already kind of bedraggled team.
And to make matters worse, I mean, the Cardinals are wearing all black for the first time. I mean, they're really walking into
Wow.
yeah. I'm really mad the Bengals didn't opt to wear their icy white uniforms to make it a full white on white against black on black.
You know what, though, now that you said that, the worst uniforms in all of the NFL, I think, were the white Bengal Tiger ones. White with the black stripes. Did you see those? They look like
Are
zebras.
they the newer ones you're talking about? I
I
like those.
I didn't. It looked like zebras.
Maybe they could change their name every time they play
The
them.
Cincinnati Zebras.
The Cincinnati Zebras.
Well, whatever it is, I think it's going to be a really exciting and entertaining game. I'm so glad they're back at home because, man, I'm getting used to those tailgates now. It's fun. Fun.
Oh no, it looks super fun from everything you post. I would be worried because temperature is supposed to be back rising up
Hot.
again this year. It was beautiful this morning, and then it was scorching hot whenever I got in
Yep.
my car to leave the facility. So
That's
bring a
the worst.
sweater and then bring something warmer to change it.
Man, it is tough trying to be out there drinking some beer in 100-degree weather, let me tell you. Bring plenty of hydration, everyone. And if you want, stop by and say hi. I've been hanging out in the green lot because the tickets I won are at gate 3, just easiest. So, yeah, find me at Kelly and Phoenix on the app formerly known as Twitter and stop by. Donnie at Donnie Druin on the app formerly known as Twitter. I just can't get around to saying X. It just sounds so weird.
And they keep changing it, and now I'm sure you saw it to where they took like the article like headline description out from like links and stuff, so it's just a picture, and like that's just been a nightmare. So I don't know what's happening to the app we've all come to know and love.
It's all right. We're there. You can find us.
That's what matters.
Donnie, I really appreciate your time today. I know you are so busy, and I will never, ever, ever take your friendship for granted. Do you have anything you want to share that's going on? People check in on you on anything?
Not really. No, just follow our work at allcardinals.com or sl.com/NFL/Cardinals. Our YouTube channel just hit over 1,000 subscribers, so really excited for that. A lot of content going on both the YouTube and the written part of it. And obviously, like Kelly said, follow me on Twitter at Don Andrew.
That's great. Well, I hope you have an amazing weekend and go Cardinals.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow The Sick Podcast with Kelly Singh on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.